Hi, my name is Alexandra Ryan. I am from Northern Colorado. I am 22 years old and I am a recent graduate from Colorado State University with a degree in corporate finance. So in the last couple of years, something has been growing on my heart so much, and just knowing your identity as a person and not having to be like everyone else in the world. And you are made special in a unique way. And that is something beautiful and something to treasure, and not something to try to copy or mimic to be like someone else. In this social media age, it's really easy to compare your lives to the people on social media. But when you think about it, they're not saying everything that's bad in their lives. They're only saying the good. And so when we see that, we are comparing our bad to their good. And so I took a social media detox for a couple weeks, and honestly, that was the best thing I've ever done, because it was getting tough when you get older and you're seeing friends move on to things that you're just dreaming about right now. It's really, really easy to compare yourself to them. But if you just step away from that and just learn to enjoy where your season is right now in your life, and just trust that your dreams are coming and you're not on anyone else's timeline, you're on your own timeline, and you can't compare yourself to anyone else, because you're never going to find the true happiness that you desire by doing so. I have been very shy most of my life, and I used to think that was the biggest weakness, but I have also seen the most growth in situations where I have to come out of that. When we step out of our comfort zone, that's where we're going to see growth. And that is so important, because it's comfy and cozy in our comfort zone, but we're not going to grow. We're just going to stay where that box allows us to. But if we step out, we're going to go to new heights. You're going to meet new people. You're going to have different divine connections with jobs or hobbies, you name it. But you're not going to find those if you're just staying in your own little box. Okay, so as I was touching on earlier, we have strengths and we have weaknesses. And yes, weaknesses are actually a beautiful thing, because other people can come in and make us strong in those areas, or it's something that God can shine through us in. Because when we are weak, He is strong, and that is something that I have learned, and it's a beautiful representation of His love for us. And also, how can we use our strengths to benefit our life? How can we influence our jobs, our home life, our friendships? We all are going to interact with people at every one of those places, so how can we make that positive influence? So focusing on our strengths and what are you really good at? Because it's really boring just trying to be like everyone else and just try to fit in. And especially in high school and college, like I'm a recent college graduate, as I previously said, the world wants you to fit in, and that is not fun. I mean, why do you want to be like everyone else? So if you can just be yourself and be true to yourself and say no, that's totally okay. Set those standards high, and it's okay to say no to those situations. And in high school, I didn't have very many friends, because I went to a small high school and it was very cliquey. And most of the people, all they wanted to do was go drink and do drugs, and I didn't want to be a part of that. It was okay for me to say no. And I kept that close group of friends that were okay with me saying no too, and they also had similar boundaries. They didn't want to be a part of that either, which made it a lot easier for me. So that brings me to my next point. Surround yourself with good people. And sometimes it's going to feel a little bit lonely, because it's tough to find those good people out there that are going to hold true to those standards and keep you held up high. So pick good friends, because I've heard that the 5 people you spend the most time with, you start becoming like them. So think of who you have in your life. What kind of influence do they have on you? And collectively, are your decisions good? Are they bringing life, or are they bringing death to the world around you? So people can see through fakeness. If you look at the people in your lives, you can tell when they're being themselves or when they're trying to put on a different persona. So for personal example for me, if you're trying to be fake, was I had a really outgoing friend, and for me, I'm not an outgoing person. So I would always compare myself to her, thinking, well, I'll never have friends like she does, or I'll never be able to just come into a room and feel confident about myself because she has that personality. I do not. But then I've come to terms with, when I was trying to be like her, I felt miserable. I did not feel confident. I wanted to go crawl into a hole and just get out of that situation, because that's not who I was. I was not created to be that outgoing personality. And so with my more inward personality, my more reserved personality, I am able to bring a quiet confidence to a room. I can go search out the person that is also a quiet person, and then we can talk, or I can help give them life because they're feeling the same way I'm feeling. I recently asked a friend what she liked most about herself, and she looked at me and she said she's never thought about that before. And that just broke my heart, because especially as girls, we tend to look in the mirror and pick at everything we wish could be better about ourselves. So when we look in the mirror, we need to be bringing life to ourselves. We need to be speaking life over ourselves. Speak I am statements. Speak I am beautiful. I am gifted. I am talented. Speak your future, because words hold so much power. Where do you want to be next year, 10 years from now? And how can you start today to reach that goal? Just start speaking that. So if you want to get into a prestige university and you're in high school, start saying, I am smart. I can do this. I am gifted. And so you start bringing your confidence up that way with your words. And you have so much worth, each and every one of you. You're beautifully and wonderfully made. And so don't ever doubt that. Don't ever doubt, why can't I be like this, my friend? Or why can't I be like the person on the magazine cover? Because you weren't created to be that person. You were created to be you. And just if you embrace that, you will find so much confidence in that, and you'll just grow to love yourself. So a good question to ask yourself is, who are you trying to please? Is it a friend? Is it a significant other? Is it societal standards or expectations? And if it's any of the above, that's not our goal. You don't have to cave to societal pressures to find your worth, because you are worth so much more than that, and you were not created to be like everyone else in this world. If you're ever feeling down, just smile. A smile gives you the most confidence, and it automatically lifts your mood. So if you just are having a rough time, just brighten someone else's day with a smile, or give someone else a compliment. Just do what you can to make a positive influence in your life and the lives around you. And then a couple quick tips on how to instantly boost your self-confidence. And this is going to vary person to person, and it's going to look different. So for me, like when I dress up, do my hair, I honestly feel a lot more self-confident. I'm not putting emphasis on you have to do that to feel self-confident. But for me, that's something that just definitely helps. And giving yourself a pep talk, that might be a good idea too. That kind of goes back to speaking life over yourself and not death, and speaking those I am statements, speaking your future. That will definitely help boost your self-confidence as well. And physical health, is there something you can do physically that will make you feel better, whether it be just kind of taking a couple quiet minutes each day in the morning, or going on a run, which for me, I don't run, so that won't be a good idea. But when I did a workout program for a little bit, I felt so good about myself. Emotional health, what are you filling yourself with? I have some really close people to myself that they put so much focus on the tangible things, the having the most money, having the nicest car, having bragging rights about things, but yet they're truly not happy. You can just see it in their eyes. So we need to be searching after things and the one who is going to give us that eternal joy, that we will not have to have certain things in life to make us confident or make us happy, because we have already found that, and we have like a God-shaped hole in our heart that only He can fill. And you look at people that just search after drugs or alcohol, money, just trying to find that one thing to fill that hole. But those things will never fill that God-shaped hole in our heart. So just embrace your own personality, embrace your quirks, embrace your strengths, your weaknesses, because they all make up you, and you are beautifully made. And so when you embrace your personality, you are going to find your self-confidence in ways that you never thought possible, because you aren't trying to be like anyone else. So to wrap this video up, I want to finish with a Bible verse. It is 1 Corinthians 2:5, and it says, "So that your faith might not rest on human wisdom, but on God's power." And that is just the blanket over everything that was talked about today, just to bring it all back to Christ. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope that spoke to you. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment down below. And I hope you had a great Christmas, and going into the new year, you will set new goals and just work on your self-confidence. Thank you.